Have you ever noticed something terrifying? The people you spend hours trying to impress aren't even thinking about you. Not now. Not yesterday. Not nearly as much as you imagine. And that realization should either break you or completely set you free. Because while you've been replaying conversations in your head, worrying about opinions, wondering how you're being perceived, calculating every move so nobody misunderstands you, everyone else has been busy dealing with their own problems, their own fears, their own insecurities. You are carrying a weight that nobody asked you to carry. And the worst part? You call it responsibility. You call it being thoughtful. You call it being careful. But what it really is mental slavery. You have become a prisoner of invisible spectators. Every decision filtered through the question, what will people think? And that question has quietly stolen years from your life. Years you can never get back. Marcus Aurelius understood something that most people never learn. The opinion of another person cannot touch your character unless you invite it inside. Read that again in your mind. The opinion of another person cannot touch your character unless you invite it inside. Yet every day you open the gate. You hand strangers access to your emotions. You give coworkers control over your confidence. You give critics control over your motivation. You give people who haven't built anything control over the direction of your life. Then you wonder why you feel exhausted. Because you were never meant to carry everyone's judgment. You were meant to carry your purpose. And if you're the type of person who wants uncomfortable truths instead of comforting lies, subscribe and join this journey. Not because this channel will change your life, because people who actively seek truth over validation become different from the crowd. And that difference changes everything. Now here's the realization nobody wants to hear. Most people are not against you. They are not watching you. They are not studying your mistakes. They are not obsessed with your failures. They're too busy worrying about themselves. The spotlight you think is shining on you doesn't exist. It's an illusion created by your own mind, a psychological trap. You walk into a room and think everyone notices every flaw. The way you speak, the way you look, the mistake you made, the thing you said. Meanwhile, most people forgot about you moments after seeing you. That isn't depressing. It's liberating. Because if nobody is paying as much attention as you think, then why are you living like you're constantly on trial? Why are you censoring your ambitions? Why are you shrinking your personality? Why are you apologizing for taking up space? Why are you asking permission to become who you are capable of becoming? The answer is fear. Not physical fear, social fear, the fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, the fear of looking foolish, the fear of standing alone. And this fear has destroyed more potential than failure ever could. Most people never become weak because life defeats them. They become weak because they spend years avoiding discomfort. They avoid embarrassment. They avoid risk. They avoid judgment. They avoid conflict. Until eventually they avoid their own potential. Seneca warned that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about that. How many battles have you fought inside your mind that never actually happened? How many sleepless nights were spent preparing for criticism that never came? How many opportunities died because you imagined a negative outcome? Your mind created a prison, then convinced you the prison was protecting you. That is the first mindset shift. Your biggest enemy is not outside. It is the version of you that constantly seeks approval. That version wants safety. It wants certainty. It wants guarantees. But growth never offers guarantees. Strength never asks permission. Transformation never arrives comfortably. The moment you stop needing everyone to understand you, your life changes. The moment you stop explaining every decision, your life changes. The moment you stop defending your existence, your life changes. Because now your energy has somewhere useful to go. Into discipline. Into focus, into mastery, into building something real. Look carefully at the strongest people you know. Not the loudest, not the most popular, the strongest. They possess a strange quality. They are not obsessed with being understood. They are not addicted to approval. They don't spend their lives managing perceptions. They spend their lives managing themselves. That is what makes them dangerous. A person who controls himself cannot be controlled by the crowd. And the crowd hates that, because the crowd survives through conformity. The crowd rewards sameness. The crowd punishes individuality. The crowd fears independence. The moment you stop chasing validation, you become difficult to manipulate. Suddenly, insults lose power. Praise loses power. Trends lose power. Peer pressure loses power. Because your direction no longer comes from outside, comes from within. And that terrifies people who need external approval to survive. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people don't actually want freedom. They want acceptance. Freedom requires responsibility. Acceptance requires obedience. One path makes you stronger. The other makes you dependent. And every day you choose between them. Every single day. When you stay silent instead of speaking your truth. When you postpone your goals to fit in. When you pretend to be someone you're not. When you hide your ambitions to avoid making others uncomfortable. You are choosing acceptance over freedom. And every time you make that choice, a piece of your potential dies. Not dramatically, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly, until one day you wake up and realize you've spent years becoming a version of yourself designed for other people. A version that feels safe. A version that feels acceptable. A version that feels small. The tragedy isn't that people don't care. The tragedy is that you sacrificed yourself for people who were never paying attention in the first place. And once you see that truth clearly, you can never unsee it. Now understand something even more uncomfortable. The world rewards results, not intentions. Nobody wakes up wondering how hard you tried. Nobody gathers around to celebrate your excuses. Nobody studies the reasons you failed. They notice what you built. They notice what you became. They notice the standard you maintain. That reality sounds harsh until you realize how much power it gives you. Because if results matter more than explanations, then your energy no longer belongs in defending yourself. It belongs in improving yourself. This is the second mindset shift. Stop explaining. Start becoming. Most people are addicted to explanations. They explain why they haven't started. They explain why they quit. They explain why life is unfair. They explain why success seems distant. And with every explanation, they feel temporarily relieved. But relief is not progress. Relief is often the reward for avoiding responsibility. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't waste energy arguing with reality. They adapted to it. They accepted what was beyond control and attacked what was within it. Meanwhile, modern minds do the opposite. They obsess over circumstances. They obsess over politics. They obsess over gossip. They obsess over people. Everything except themselves. Then they wonder why they remain stuck. Because the strongest weapon available to you is attention. Where attention goes, life follows. And most people spend their attention like a reckless gambler. 1 hour worrying, another hour comparing, another hour complaining, another hour seeking validation. Then they claim they have no time. No, they have no focus. There is a difference. Focus is not about concentrating harder. Focus is deciding what deserves your energy. And most things don't. The opinion of strangers doesn't. The criticism of people doing less than you doesn't. The jealousy of weak-minded individuals doesn't. The temporary approval of the crowd certainly doesn't. Imagine how powerful you would become if every ounce of energy currently spent worrying about perception was redirected toward mastery. Think about it. The hours, the weeks, the years. How much strength has been wasted trying to manage an image instead of building substance? That question should bother you, because every moment spent performing is a moment not spent growing. And growth is the only thing that ultimately protects you. Not popularity, not status, not attention. Growth, a disciplined mind, a strong body, a focused purpose, a resilient spirit. Those things remain when everything else disappears. Here's another truth that people avoid. Some of the people you desperately want approval from don't even respect themselves. Read that carefully. You are seeking validation from people who secretly hate their own reflection. People who quit on themselves years ago. people who abandoned their dreams, people who surrendered their standards, people who settled, and somehow you've allowed their opinions to influence your decisions. Why? Why would a person walking away from greatness be qualified to judge someone moving toward it? The answer is conditioning. Since childhood, you've been trained to seek permission. Permission to speak. Permission to act. Permission to succeed. Permission to become. And eventually that habit becomes an identity. You stop asking what you want. You start asking what others will allow. That is not living. That is psychological dependence. And dependence destroys power. Because power begins the moment your emotional state stops depending on external approval. The third mindset shift is simple. Your self-respect must become stronger than your desire to be liked. Most people reverse that equation. They sacrifice self-respect for acceptance. They stay in unhealthy relationships. They tolerate disrespect. They remain in environments that poison their growth. All because they fear being disliked. But every act of self-betrayal leaves a scar. Every compromise against your values weakens your foundation. Every moment you choose comfort over integrity, your confidence shrinks. Not because someone punished you, because your mind witnessed the betrayal. Your mind always knows. It knows when you're lying. It knows when you're pretending. It knows when you're hiding. It knows when you're settling. And confidence is impossible when your mind no longer trusts you. That's what many people misunderstand. Confidence isn't built by positive thinking. Confidence is built through evidence. Keeping promises to yourself. Doing difficult things repeatedly. Remaining disciplined when nobody is watching. Choosing integrity when compromise seems easier. Those actions create evidence. Evidence creates trust. Trust creates confidence. And confidence changes everything. Marcus Aurelius spent years reminding himself of one brutal fact. You will die. Not someday in theory. Actually die. Everything ends. Every conversation. Every possession. Every reputation. Every argument. Every fear. Everything. The Stoics didn't reflect on death because they were pessimistic. They reflected on death because it exposed what truly mattered. When viewed through mortality, most worries become ridiculous. The embarrassment you're afraid of? Temporary. The criticism you're obsessing over? Temporary. The rejection you're avoiding? Temporary. Your life? Temporary. So why spend something priceless worrying about something meaningless? Why trade your limited years for endless approval seeking? Why sacrifice your future to protect an image? One day nobody will remember most of what currently keeps you awake at night. Not because life is cruel, because life moves forward. The world keeps turning, and that realization should wake something inside you. You are wasting precious energy fighting battles that don't deserve your attention. Energy that could be invested into becoming exceptional. And here's a question I want you to answer honestly. What would happen if, starting today, you completely stopped caring about the opinions of people who contribute nothing to your growth? Not your family, not wise mentors, not constructive feedback. Those are different. I'm talking about spectators, critics, negative observers, people whose opinions create noise rather than wisdom. What would change? Would you finally start the business? Would you finally speak your mind? Would you finally pursue your goals? Would you finally stop shrinking yourself? Comment below. I choose growth over approval. Write it not for me. Write it as a declaration to yourself. Because the moment those words become real, your entire life begins to move in a different direction. And what comes next is where most people fail. Because letting go of validation sounds easy, until loneliness arrives, until silence arrives, until nobody claps for your progress, until nobody notices your sacrifice, until nobody celebrates your discipline. That's the stage where weak people quit, and strong people are born. Most people never realize that loneliness is not the enemy. Dependence is. Loneliness only reveals what dependence was hiding. The moment you stop chasing approval, a strange silence enters your life. The messages become fewer. The invitations become fewer. The applause becomes quieter. The attention begins to disappear. And for a while, it feels like loss. But it isn't loss. It's exposure. For the first time, you are seeing who was attached to your performance and who was connected to your character. There is a difference. Many people love the version of you that entertains them, the version that agrees with them, the version that remains small enough to make them comfortable. But when you begin evolving, something changes. Your growth becomes a mirror, and mirrors make insecure people uncomfortable. Your discipline reminds them of their excuses. Your consistency reminds them of their laziness. Your ambition reminds them of their abandoned dreams. Your standards remind them of their compromises. And because of that, some people will quietly distance themselves. Not because you hurt them, because your existence forces them to confront themselves. Do not take it personally. This is one of the hardest lessons on the path of self-mastery. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Some departures are necessary. Some endings create space. Some absences create clarity. And clarity is worth more than company. Because bad company doesn't just waste time. Corrupts focus. It dilutes standards. It weakens discipline. It normalizes mediocrity. And mediocrity is contagious. Spend enough time around people who make excuses, and eventually excuses begin sounding reasonable. Spend enough time around people who avoid responsibility, and eventually responsibility feels abnormal. Spend enough time around people who complain, and eventually complaining feels natural. This is why the Stoics guarded their minds so fiercely. They understood something modern society ignores. Your environment is programming you. Every conversation, every influence, every voice, every habit, every person, all of it is shaping your future. And if you are not intentionally choosing your influences, someone else is choosing them for you. That should concern you, because weak minds are built accidentally. Strong minds are built deliberately. The fourth mindset shift is this: protect your attention as if your future depends on it. Because it does. Most people believe success is created by talent. They're wrong. Many believe success is created by luck. They're wrong too. Success is often the result of sustained attention directed toward meaningful effort over a long period of time. That's it. But sustained attention has become rare. People can't sit quietly anymore. They can't focus. They can't think deeply. They can't endure boredom. And because they cannot endure boredom, they never reach mastery. The strongest individuals in history developed an ability that average people abandoned. The ability to stay focused when excitement disappears. That's where greatness lives. Not in motivation. Not in inspiration. Not in emotion. In repetition. In consistency. In discipline. The days nobody sees. The hours nobody praises. The effort nobody celebrates. That's where transformation occurs. And transformation is usually invisible before it becomes obvious. A tree grows underground before it grows above it. Strength develops in silence before it appears in public. Confidence develops internally before it becomes visible externally. Everything meaningful follows this pattern. Yet people quit because they cannot see immediate results. They dig for treasure for weeks, then stop 1 inch before discovering gold. Not because they lacked ability, because they lacked patience. Patience is becoming a superpower. In a culture addicted to instant gratification, patience makes you dangerous. While everyone else chases quick rewards, you build foundations. While everyone else seeks attention, you develop substance. While everyone else wants recognition, you pursue mastery. And eventually the gap becomes impossible to ignore. This is where emotional control enters the picture. Because life will test you. Not once. Repeatedly. You will be misunderstood. You will be criticized. You will be underestimated. You will be doubted. You will be rejected. Not because something is wrong with you, because suffering is part of existence. The Stoics never promised comfort. They promised strength. And strength is forged through resistance. No sword becomes sharp without friction. No mind becomes resilient without challenge. No character becomes powerful without adversity. Every difficulty contains an opportunity disguised as pain. Most people only see the pain. The wise see the opportunity. When someone insults you, there is an opportunity. When someone rejects you, there is an opportunity. When life disappoints you, there is an opportunity. The opportunity is always the same: to become stronger than the situation, to become greater than the obstacle, to become more disciplined than the temptation. That is the game. And once you understand the game, suffering changes. It stops being evidence that life is unfair. It becomes evidence that life is training you. Think about the strongest version of yourself. Not the version that exists now. The version you could become. The version with unshakable discipline. The version with complete self-respect. The version with emotional control. The version with clarity. The version with purpose. Do you honestly believe that version could be created through comfort alone? Of course not. Comfort creates dependence. Challenge creates growth. Comfort creates weakness. Resistance creates strength. Comfort creates complacency. Pressure creates transformation. That realization changes everything. Because now you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single question separates victims from builders. Victims seek reasons to surrender. Builders seek lessons to apply. Victims focus on blame. Builders focus on responsibility. Victims wait for rescue. Builders create solutions. And the difference between those mindsets compounds over years. One creates regret. The other creates power. Now here's something most people never admit. Many of your current problems are not external. They are internal. You know what you should do. You simply refuse to do it consistently. You know you should wake up earlier. You know you should train harder. You know you should stop procrastinating. You know you should stop wasting time. You know you should stop seeking validation. You know, the information isn't missing. The discipline is. And that's why consuming more content alone won't save you. Knowledge without action becomes another form of entertainment. You can listen to wisdom every day, read every book, watch every lecture, study every philosophy, yet remain unchanged, because transformation happens through execution, not consumption, not intention, execution. That truth is uncomfortable because it removes excuses. Once you know what must be done, responsibility becomes yours. Not society's, not your friends, not your parents, yours. And responsibility is heavy, but it is also liberating. Because the moment responsibility becomes yours, power becomes yours too. You stop waiting, you stop blaming, you stop complaining, you start building, you start improving, you start becoming. And that is where real freedom begins. Not when circumstances improve. Not when people support you. Not when life becomes easier. When you become stronger. Because a stronger mind can survive weaker circumstances. A disciplined person can succeed in environments that destroy average people. A focused individual can create opportunities where others see obstacles. That is why focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. You cannot lead yourself if you cannot control yourself. You cannot help others if you cannot help yourself. You cannot build a meaningful life while constantly abandoning your own development. So relax. Nobody cares as much as you think. And that is the greatest gift reality can offer. Because it means you are free. Free to improve. Free to fail. Free to learn. Free to grow. Free to become everything you were capable of becoming all along. The only question is whether you will finally use that freedom, or waste it chasing approval from people who were never paying attention in the first place. There comes a moment in every person's life when the lies stop working. Not the lies you tell others, the lies you tell yourself. The lie that you'll start tomorrow. The lie that you need more time. The lie that circumstances are the problem. The lie that one day motivation will magically arrive and transform your life. Deep down, you already know the truth. You have always known it. The person standing between you and the life you want has never been another human being. It has been the version of you that chooses comfort over growth. And that version is clever. It doesn't attack you directly. It whispers. It negotiates. It rationalizes. It says, "Take it easy today. It says, "You've done enough." It says, "You deserve a break." It says, "You can start next week." And while you're listening, your future is slipping away one day at a time. This is why most people never become who they were meant to be. Not because they lack potential, because they keep making temporary comfort more important than permanent transformation. Every time you avoid difficulty, you strengthen weakness. Every time you face difficulty, you strengthen character. The choice seems small in the moment, but repeated thousands of times, it creates two completely different lives. One filled with regret, one filled with pride. The frightening thing about regret is that it rarely arrives immediately. It waits, it watches, it grows quietly in the shadows. Then years later, it appears without warning. You look back and realize how much time was wasted worrying about things that never mattered. How many opportunities were abandoned because of fear? How many dreams were sacrificed for approval? How many decisions were made to impress people who eventually disappeared anyway? And suddenly the pain of discipline seems insignificant compared to the pain of regret. Because discipline hurts in the moment. Regret hurts forever. That is why the Stoics trained themselves to see reality clearly. Not as they wished it to be, not as they feared it to be, but as it actually was. Reality does not care about your excuses. Reality responds to action. Reality rewards consistency. Reality respects discipline. The sooner you accept that, the sooner your life changes. There is another realization that many people spend their entire lives avoiding. You cannot become powerful while remaining addicted to comfort. The two cannot coexist. An unbreakable mind is not built through convenience. It is built through voluntary struggle. Through doing what needs to be done when you don't feel like doing it. Through maintaining standards when nobody is watching. Through remaining focused when distractions are everywhere. That is where mental toughness is born. Not in dramatic moments. In ordinary moments repeated consistently. The decision to get up. The decision to keep going. The decision to stay disciplined. The decision to remain calm. The decision to focus on your mission instead of your emotions. Those choices seem invisible, but they are shaping your destiny. Every day you are either becoming harder to break or easier to control. There is no neutral position. Every habit is casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Every thought is building a pattern. Every action is creating an identity. So ask yourself honestly, who are you becoming? Not who do you want to be? Not who do you pretend to be? Who are your daily actions creating? Because identity is not formed by intentions. Identity is formed by repetition. The strongest people understand this. They do not wait to feel powerful. They act powerfully. They do not wait to feel disciplined. They behave with discipline. They do not wait to feel confident. They keep promises to themselves until confidence becomes inevitable. And that is why they eventually separate themselves from the crowd. Not because they were born different, because they refused to keep betraying themselves. So relax. Nobody cares as much as you think they do. The crowd is busy with its own fears, its own distractions, its own battles. Stop performing for an audience that isn't paying attention. Stop shrinking your potential to fit into places you've already outgrown. Stop wasting precious years trying to manage perceptions. Focus on yourself. Focus on your standards. Focus on your discipline. Focus on your growth. Because at the end of the day, your future will not be determined by what people thought about you. It will be determined by what you repeatedly chose to become. And now, before this video ends, I want you to remember one thing. Most people will spend their entire lives trapped inside a prison that doesn't exist. Prison built from opinions. Prison built from fear. A prison built from the constant need to be accepted. They will shrink their dreams, silence their voice, lower their standards, and abandon their potential just to feel comfortable for a moment. Don't be one of them. The truth is, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to wake up one morning and hand you discipline. Nobody is going to give you confidence. Nobody is going to build your future for you. That responsibility belongs to you. And while that may sound heavy, it is also the most empowering realization you can have. Because if your life is your responsibility, then your future is still in your hands. Your past mistakes don't define you. Your failures don't define you. The criticism you've received doesn't define you. The only thing that defines you is what you choose to do next. Right now, today, after this video ends, the person you become 5 years from now is being created by the decisions you make when nobody is watching. Not when you're motivated, not when you're inspired, when you're tired, when you're uncomfortable, when you'd rather quit. That's where character is revealed. That's where strength is built. That's where ordinary people separate themselves from everyone else. So stop worrying about who is watching. Stop worrying about who approves. Stop worrying about what they might say. Relax. Nobody cares. And that's exactly why you're free. Free to grow. Free to fail. Free to learn. Free to improve. Free to become the strongest version of yourself. The question is no longer whether you can do it. The question is whether you'll finally decide to. If this message connected with you, let me know in the comments. I choose growth over approval. Not for me, for yourself. Because the moment you write those words, you're making a decision about who you're becoming. And if you found value in this video, share it with someone who needs this reminder. Someone who has been carrying the weight of other people's opinions for far too long. Leave a like if you're committed to building a stronger mind, a calmer spirit, and a life guided by purpose instead of approval. And if you're already on that path, if you're the kind of person who chooses discipline over excuses, growth over comfort, and truth over validation, then subscribe and join us. Not as a viewer, as a builder, as someone committed to becoming uncommon in a world that rewards mediocrity. Now don't stop here. The next video on your screen is the natural continuation of this journey. Click it immediately, because the mindset you're building today could become the foundation of the person you'll be for the rest of your life. I'll see you in the next video.